I'm a fragrance addict and I'm a social guy, and I absolutely love meeting and talking to people. To me, life is way more fun when it's shared with others. All this means that I usually meet a lot of people in different situations, and I also go on quite a few dates. All this also means that there are a lot of opportunities for people to get a whiff of my fragrances. Yes, I wear fragrance first and foremost for myself, but wearing fragrance in different social situations is simply so much fun. And it's always a fun bonus whenever I get positive reactions to my scents. Here are some of my most complimented fragrances of 2022. By the way, I would love to know which are your most complimented scents of 2022, so make sure you put them in the comments. First up is a fragrance that reminded me of something I quite often bring up here on the channel. And that is that quite often you really don't need something insanely unique to smell good to others. What to some frag heads smell generic can quite often be something a ton of people out in the real world actually absolutely love. So this is a fragrance I liked when I did my review of it, but it did not blow me away in any way. I pretty much stopped using it after my review, but after a while I started reaching for it when I wanted something very easy to wear, and I just loved wearing it. I sprayed it on for the gym or when I was just heading out, and I started getting compliment after compliment. Jimmy Choo Man AQUA is not something insanely unique, and I believe I even called it boring in my review. But it's crazy how this thing has grown on me and how much of a compliment getter it is. Jimmy Choo Man AQUA opens up in a fresh and aromatic way with cardamom and grapefruit and dries down to a slightly salty and ambery kind of aquatic scent. I still think the scent is not something super unique, but it has grown on me a lot, and I really don't care about that. I feel so good when I spray it on. It's super easy to wear, and I actually think it's pretty much impossible for most people to dislike it. Next up is one of my fragrances for life, and I still remember the very first time I had it on. Multiple compliments from strangers on that very first night with it on. You know when you're out among a lot of people and you're talking to someone and that person leans in a bit closer to you, this thing almost always gets a compliment at that very moment. DIOR SAUVAGE to me is pure epicness. It's so strong, so people really don't need to get close to you to get a whiff of it, but when they do, oh my. SAUVAGE ELIXIR was one of my most complimented last year, and it's still one of my most complimented fragrances. This is really something you wear when you want to stand out and to impress. To me, it's the very best SAUVAGE, and it's a scent I truly love, and the way it gets compliments is just crazy. Next up is a scent that took me a few years to warm up to, and it's a scent that a lot of guys shy away from, but that a lot of women go crazy over. It just doesn't fail. It's in my current dating fragrances rotation for a reason, and I've had a lot of compliments from women I've been on dates with and other people as well. I believe the reason why a lot of guys, at least initially, dislike Parfums de Malik Kalan is because of its very spicy, citrusy and sort of a bitter fresh kind of opening. The opening is not really something that pulls in compliments, but if you let it dry down, it turns into a woody scent with a soft dose of vanillic sweetness, and the whole scent is ambery and warm with a touch of something earthy. I've gotten compliments from women who usually don't even care much about scents, and I've received some of this year's most intense compliments with it on, and all that is fun, but most important of all, I feel so damn good in such a sexy way when I spray it on. One day maybe Kalan might be discovered and appreciated by more guys, but I'll just keep on enjoying it and every compliment I get for it. I had the first review on YouTube of the next fragrance, and I bought it as I was heading out for a beach vacation. During that vacation, I got a ton of compliments for it. PACO RABANNE INVICTUS Platinum is probably one of my, if not the most favorite out of all the Invictus fragrances. It's a fun, happy and playful kind of scent that's perfect for summer when you want a great scent on you that will make you smell good to a lot of people. Compliments for sure. From one sort of a freshie to another, and if you are a subscriber then you already know how much I love it. And it's not just me. This is an amazing fresh citrusy and aromatic scent from PRADA, and it's one of those freshies that just has that special something to it that makes it crazy attractive. PRADA Luna Rossa, oh my, if you spray this on and someone gets a whiff of it, chances are you will get a nice comment. One of my most used freshes this summer, and this to me is sexy freshness that quite often gets a compliment. Next up is a fragrance that was one of my most complimented scents of 2021, and it's still an amazing scent that smells amazing to most people. Le Male Parfum is a scent that almost everyone enjoys. It's without a doubt one of my most complimented fragrances this year, and I'm simply addicted to that powdery combo of vanilla, lavender and cardamom. This gives off an amazing, elegant, cozy and sexy vibe that's extremely attractive to both men and women. And I've received a lot of compliments from both women and men. I love it, I'm addicted to it, and if you are looking for a powdery compliment getter, then look no further. From one powdery to another. It's a scent I gave a high rating when I reviewed it, and it just has that special something about it that a lot of people enjoy. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé is powdery and woody, and I really enjoy the nutty and boozy undertones of it and the way it's sort of ambery and warm. I primarily use it on date nights, but also when I've gone out for dinner with friends, and I think it's sort of a balanced depth. The warmth of it and that fantastic woody powderiness is the reason why it's such a compliment getter. One of the best releases of 2022 for sure. So my journey with the next scent started out with the EDT, and it's without a single doubt one of my absolute most complimented scents ever. The sheer amount of compliments and the sort of intensity behind some of those compliments is just insane. This year I sort of transitioned to mostly using the EDP and quite recently the limited edition, and those two seem to bring in the compliments in very much the same way as the original. Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Matte is a clone of the famous Creed Aventus, and I just love it. And I bet that if you worn this a lot while being around people, then you know how crazy of a compliment getter it is. I have all of them, and I even have backup bottles of them all simply because I just love the scent. Next up is a fragrance that quickly went on to become one of my most complimented this year. To me, it's all about the powerful dose of vanilla on top of a woody and musky base. Nishane An is simply put an addictive kind of vanilla that to me is quite perfectly blended. It's sweet but not over the top. It's a creamy kind of vanilla that's a bit powdery, and the way it's combined with a bit of woodiness is fantastic. This is for someone who absolutely loves the scent of vanilla, and I'm gonna wrap this one up by saying that a lot of people love this kind of vanilla. Armani has a way of creating some truly fantastic scents, and this is one of them. Now, I don't like the price tag of it, but I absolutely love the way it combines powderiness with a dose of freshness and a hint of sweetness. Armani Cold Parfum is powdery, but it separates itself from most other powdery scents by combining citrusy and aromatic freshness with iris, vanilla and a bit of woodiness. I absolutely love how that powderiness feels lighter than most of my other powdery scents, and I think Armani pretty much nailed it with this one. It's powdery and woody with a hint of sweetness, and that combination done this way is extremely mass appealing and very easy to wear in most situations. Spray this one on for work and you'll smell amazing, I promise, to your coworkers. Spray it on before a date and she or he will think you smell both elegant and sexy. Combine it with a suit and a smile and you have something very attractive going on. Next up is another one that was also one of my most complimented scents of 2021. It's not a complicated kind of scent, but its mix of spiciness, sweetness and woodiness is simply put amazing. AZZARO the Most Wanted was one of my favorite, my absolute favorite dating fragrances last year, and even though I used it a bit less this year, it's still one of my most complimented. The cardamom grabs people's attention, the seductive sweetness of caramel is what charms people, and that woodiness just adds a dose of something masculine and sexy to it all. This is a great, playful and sexy scent, and it's without a single doubt one of the best men's fragrances from AZZARO. Get it if you want to smell good and if you love compliments. Last but not least is a freshie that got me hooked, and it's definitely one of my most complimented freshies during the summer. I feel it's very underrated, and I also feel most people most likely have not used it that much. I used it a ton. I burned through one bottle, I bought a backup bottle, and I even bought a second backup bottle of the same juice, but with the female bottle because I just don't care about the bottle. I simply love the juice. Le Male Pride is basically a freshie with blood orange and a bit of citrusy sweetness to it on top of a musky base, and it's got a fantastic floral touch to it. This has that Jean Paul Gaultier happy, fun and sexy vibe about it, but in a sort of a fresh way, and it got a ton of compliments this summer, and I really mean it, I really look forward to yet another summer with it on. I would love to know which were your most complimented fragrances of the year. Please put it in the comments. Please like this video, thank you, I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell, make sure you check out the videos over there. Oh yes, and I'll see you in the next one.